So you find a PC for 26 bucks, it has to be a scam, right? Well, maybe not this one.
This is an old computer, but it was selling for so cheap on eBay, we just had to buy it to see, can we get it to game in 2025? We're about to open and find out after word from today's sponsor. Listen, building a gaming PC is only part of the process. Once you finish planning your perfect gaming PC build to get the best price performance, you need to make sure to install and activate Windows 11 with today's video sponsor, gvgmall. Use our link in the description down below to find the Windows 11 key. Use code TB20 on checkout to save even more money, upping your price to performance game. Then you'll get a copy of the key sent straight to you. Take that key, throw it into a Windows 11 PC of your choice during the install process or after the install is done, and boom, you now have an activated Windows 11 with access of all the features it has to offer. Use our link down below and use code TB20 on checkout and you'll save some money on your Windows activation. Big thanks again to gvgmall for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to the video, shall we? It's not very often you scroll on eBay and you find a computer that was originally listed for $5 plus shipping, $18. But once you see a PC that is $5, I just had to click on it. And then after I looked more into it and noticed that the seller called it an i2 PC, which that's not what they're called. It's a Core 2 Quad PC. It comes with 4 gigs of RAM, which I believe, wouldn't that be DDR2?
Yeah, it'd be like DDR2. Is it a quad or a duo?
So it is.
That's why they said 2.
So it's an i2 Q8400, which is a Core 2 Quad.
Oh, okay.
So Core 2 Quads, which it's been a long time since we've done anything with a Core 2 Quad. This is before the i-series generation, ladies and gentlemen. But there's the fact that there was a seller selling a computer like this on eBay, which with seller fees and everything and shipping, where's the money? Like, where's any of the money?
It's from a military college. That's something right there.
Are there like military secrets on this?
We're about to have top secret data. I noticed too, I think it might have Wi-Fi. Like a Wi-Fi card built in?
So I'll read some of the description, McAllister, you can put it on screen here. This feels very ChatGPT. I want your ChatGPT sensor to go off if you think this is what this is. This desktop computer is a powerful and reliable machine that is perfect for workstation or casual computing needs. With its powerful processor and 4 gigabytes of RAM, it can handle even the most demanding tasks with ease. ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's 100% AI. I do have to say, this board feels, it's actually like, so this would have been a custom build back in the day, like rather than being like HP or Dell, this is probably some company like, let's say if PC Bros was 20 years old, would have made, because like the case, do you see any branding on it or anything? I mean, it looks like a aftermarket case of sorts.
This is that's very popular back in the day where there's just very generic cases, especially for custom builds. I bet that power supply came with it as well.
Yeah, but I mean, we got like actually like a not bad looking Asus board. And I mean, back then these boards could have looked pretty dang old and cheap, but you can tell it's old. We got like a ribbon cable connector there. What power supply do we have here?
The ISO.
Oh, it's ISO, okay. I believe it's a name brand. I don't know that for sure. Someone quote me that. 450 watts though. Why do you need 450 watts when you only have a 24 pin and a 4 pin?
I don't know where that watt's going. I don't know where any of those extra watts are going. One thing that was funny too in the description, they said, you may need a password to unlock it. Some of them are password protected, some aren't. I could send you a video on how to do it. So if ours is password protected, I was really hoping to kind of just keep it on Windows 7 because that's what it comes installed with.
Cool.
Because it'd be kind of fun. But if it's locked, we might not be.
Oh yeah, we have a hard drive too. It's like screwed in with like 8 screws, but I'm gonna assume it's like a 500 gig or less probably, unless it happens to say.
The only available space is 148 gigs. So what kind of drive would that be? Like 160 gig?
They have 180s.
So 180 gig hard drive.
Did you notice the dual channel RAM?
It's dual channel 4 gigs? That's beautiful.
DDR3, I don't know.
DDR3?
Yeah, DDR3.
Interesting. I thought it would be DDR2. I guess this was the awkward era where I think they were switching over to DDR3, so there was some DDR2 systems, but DDR3 I mean is at least a little bit better.
It could be based on the board. You know, I mean, they did do that for some generations where like the board could handle different gens, so it's kind of cool.
We're gonna pull this thing up. Obviously, this is old. It's just the funny fact that the seller even went through the effort to list this thing for $5 plus shipping. It makes no sense.
How much money are they making? It's like 13% taken from eBay. It probably, the shipping has to be like $20 at least.
I just want to know if it's password protected. Because if that's the case, I'll reach out to the seller for, I guess, the password. I don't know.
You can ask for a refund.
Yeah, I want to ask for a full refund on this PC.
I was hoping to find some old crypto on this.
This is the sound of innovation. Oh, wait, is it? Loading?
Oh, look, it's already
booting.
Start Windows normally? Oh, wait, we're not a keyboard right now.
Yep.
You think it's not so old it doesn't have USB? That would suck.
We're about to find out if there's a password. Oh, this is a throwback.
Oh.
Windows 7.
Jonah wasn't even born yet.
I was using Windows 7 back in the day, all right?
But based on this, I have a feeling there's a password.
Ooh.
All right, so it's locked. Do I go through the effort to reach out to the seller or do we reinstall? I feel like I'm gonna break something if we reinstall. Well, I need to do some hunting games. What kind of era GPU do you think we put in this? Obviously, the thing is, if we go era relevant, it's gonna require external power, which we don't have.
Intel Arc?
No, stop. I don't even know if we have anything that would work right now, because originally the plan was I would look for something online to get it, something era relevant, because I looked around, we didn't have anything like old that would make sense to slap in there.
700 series would have been nice.
Yeah.
A little 750 Ti or something like that, you know?
Yeah, something like that. 750 Ti, see if we can play some TF2, some Half-Life 2, old source games. That's kind of what we're looking at here. So I jumped to a little bit of deal hunting, where I'm gonna look for as cheap a GPU as I can get one sent in, now that I know that it kind of works. See if I can get a password bypass or however they want to do it to get into this military computer, find all the military secrets. And then from there, we'll do a little retro gaming and just continue on this journey. When it's listed for $5 plus shipping, we're gonna buy it, or we're gonna see if it can game. All right, guys, it has been a couple of days since we initially unboxed this $26 beauty of a computer, and we have a couple of updates that we're gonna be doing. So first things first, I bought a GTX 750 from eBay. Should be here today, the time we're recording this, that we could plop into this computer and do some light gaming. With that Core 2 Quad and the 750, I imagine those Valve games will have no problems running. We'll give those a shot, see what those run like, but there is one issue, and it's the issue of the install of Windows 7 and the fact that it is locked out. Now, there are workarounds we can do, but the more I thought about it, the more I really want to take one of our cracked installs of Windows 11, which allows you to install Windows 11 on absolutely anything, and try to install Windows 11 on this and see if it can game. Is it a bad idea? Probably. Will this be something that McAllister subtly foreshadows to and comes back to me complaining why games aren't running properly? Potentially. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is try to get Windows 11 to install. If it installs easily, good to go, get some games downloading, and once the GPU comes in, plop the GPU in, and then we kind of have a futuristic / old PC that could still do some light gaming. Hopefully, that's kind of the goal, but we won't know until we get Windows 11 working. So if that works out well, you'll see us with the graphics card installing it and everything. If not, you're gonna see my face again. To all of those who say, my hardware cannot run Windows 11, look at this bad boy. Woo! And our 4 gigs of RAM. Oh, that RAM is not happy. But we have this SSD now that we are using, as you can see right here. We installed an SSD because I didn't want to totally ruin the image that was on this hard drive just in case this didn't work, because there are workarounds, take a little bit of time, that you can bypass and run Windows 7, but I didn't want to cause that issue. But as long as I can get games to work, which I will say, I'm a little bit concerned with that RAM usage, but potentially we can make things work. We're gonna install some somewhat easy to run games, which would include games like, oh, I don't know, some TF2. I don't think CS2 is gonna work well anymore. Half-Life, all the source games, things like that. And then we'll just see how this works, maybe some emulation, gets that sort of set up. But yeah, we got this working. Obviously the price is a little bit higher now. We pay about 26 bucks, and we'll have to do some little napkin math here in a second so we can figure out what we're at. But we're definitely under $100 still, which I will say we are approaching the territory of why the heck would you do this? But hey, it's a fun video. We got a PC on eBay for 26 bucks. We're gonna make a game one way or another. It just depends on what your expectations are of gaming. So let's get stuff loaded up, wait for that GPU to show up, and then we should be ready to go. All right, guys, it has been a couple of days. I got this PC working, as you saw, with Windows 11, and now we have it in its final form. So originally the game plan was for me to try to use the hard drive, maybe even use Windows 7 on the hard drive, but decided to scrap that because I could get Windows 11 installed on an SSD, and a 256 gig SSD only runs you about $15 nowadays, so kind of a no-brainer. So as you can see right here, again, this isn't in its completely final form. I will clean this up a little bit to make it more presentable, but we have this Team Group drive right here at about 16 bucks there. Here is our 750 for about $30. Bought this adapter. Well, technically we've had this adapter for a while, so I didn't buy this new, but I would say these value around 5 bucks. That's it. So in total, we've spent around $77 on this PC, which I'll be the first to tell you, it's under $100, but it's still not great price performance, but it's a cool computer that we bought and we're able to turn into something to play some retro games. And when I say retro, it's probably gonna hurt some of you people out there who are the real OGs, because we're gonna be playing games like TF2, Half-Life 2, Crysis, Crysis, Fallout New Vegas, 3D Mark, and try to launch CS2, and we'll just run some games that may work on this PC for under $100. So let's cut to some benchmarks, see what that 3D Mark score is, and wrap this whole experience up because, well, we took a PC that started at $5, we got charged for shipping that got us to $26, and now we're all the way up to $77. Is it worth it? We're about to see.
All right, guys, we are playing a classic era-relevant game of 2007 Team Fortress 2. We're currently running 1080p, which honestly was not era-relevant.
No.
At high textures with, well, high and low.
High and low, it's kind of all over the place. We would change it now, but we know Valve games, they will break.
It will be quite broken, but as you can see, I mean, this wouldn't have been the highest in build back then. I mean, the Core 2 Quad definitely is a pretty decent CPU, but in the 750 Ti, it's a normal 750.
Normal 750.
Yeah, which is pretty low end even back then. Which I think this PC would have been more like 500 series NVIDIA.
Yeah.
Still could have used a little more, and like we said, the biggest part of this is just the resolution. You would have been running this at like 720p or lower back then.
Yeah, Max, you probably would have seen. I love this is classic engineer right here.
I'm just running into it over and over again. You know what I need? I need a heavy.
You need a heavy. You gotta diffuse the situation.
Yes.
So we got something that would at least work currently.
Oh God, why am I eating this?
One thing to mention as well is we are running 4 gigs of RAM, so, you know, got a little bit of wiggle room there. We're at, even back then, like getting up to 6 would be nice. Oh, and you got beat.
Oh no, my 30 FPS wasn't enough for me to get any kills. Well, yeah, TF2, pretty OG game, still very relevant, 40,000 players plus, but who are we to count?
Yeah, let's do the classic test. Can it run Crysis?
Ooh, Crysis.
All right, guys, the Can It Run Crysis test is now active. We are currently running, I believe, 720p. Let's see, game settings. Oh, no, wrong settings here. System settings, graphics, 720p on the high preset, which I would say is quite aggressive. I am losing where I am right now, actually. As you guys can tell right now, I don't have MSI Afterburner up. For whatever reason, MSI Afterburner would not hook. I don't know why. Tried multiple times here, but the reason I'm doing 720p is as you saw how TF2 was running, I figured it'd be much better just to run a resolution that makes a little more sense for this era. Honestly, if I had these specs, I'd probably be running like a 1600 by 900 display, and we're getting 100 FPS, so maybe it would work at 1080p with the 750, which is quite surprising for a game that is known for being difficult to run, especially for the time frame it was released. All right, let's move to the beach here. Okay, so the FPS is dropping. So 720p was definitely the call because we are at around 50 FPS right now. It's technically playable. I mean, this is a little better than I expected, but yeah, around the 60-ish range. I don't think VSync is on, is it? Because it's giving me VSync vibes. It's playable. Is this a practical configuration? Is this PC or this entire journey practical at all? No, not really, at all. At this price point, you'd be better off finding some sort of modern Optiplex that is not a Core 2 Quad, because you're gonna see at the end here, there's some games that just won't even launch anymore. So it's one of those things where this was a fun experiment. It was fun to see a PC listed on eBay for $5. With shipping, it gets around to 26 bucks. And after that, we were able to turn it into a gaming system, but in terms of price performance, it most certainly is not going to be one of our top priorities here. But hey, we're getting 60 FPS in Crysis. Let's go ahead and wrap this video up, talk about the other benchmarks we ran, our 3D Mark score, which is quite interesting, and just kind of summarize this entire experience where we took some old hardware, installed Windows 11 on it, and were able to make a game. Somewhat game.
All right, guys, we just got done playing on a PC that is almost as old as us, and it definitely was a little nostalgic trip, and I gotta say, it kind of worked better than I thought it would, just out of the box for how old it was.
Yeah, realistically, we showed you guys the benchmarks. Unless you're just getting this for the nostalgia of the old hardware, it really wasn't worth picking up and doing all these upgrades. The price performance just isn't there, and in some of the games we tested, it really shows you that. We played some games that were era relevant. You saw the other games we tested, Crysis and TF2, but you can run Half-Life 2, 1080p high settings at 100 FPS. That game is definitely ahead of its time, I will say. Fallout New Vegas, 1080p high, you got that locked 60 FPS, and CS2 was one where the Q8400 just doesn't support any certain profile that allows you to play games like CS2. It just shows an error saying, you know what, it won't launch, which is to be expected with such an old platform. This is kind of fun when you find these things at, like, let's say like a donation center or a electronics recycling center. You find these things for free and you fix them up. Good idea. Buying one on eBay for $5 with what was $18 in shipping, probably not ideal. But I hope you guys enjoyed this journey with this old PC. And if you guys ever buy old PCs and do stuff like this, let us know in the comments down below.
And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Now, if you want to buy old Bessie here, she may be for sale at PCBros.tech, but we got a lot of much higher end builds that you guys can buy too.
As you guys can see, this thing is very limited, so we're going to sell it at a pretty limited discount. Limited discount, that doesn't make much sense, does it?
Unlimited.
We're going to sell it at an unlimited discount, a great price. Along with all the other PCs we have to offer at PCBros.tech, use code ToastyBros.checkout, you'll save 3% of your next purchase. See you guys later, bye.